Hello, this is Randy Carbon, and this is Rantin' Randy's Rant for a Saturday in June. Boy, where in the hell do I even start on this one? Other than I just had to rush outside, it sounds like something it hit the side of the house. I'm thinking maybe it was a damn mortar or something that blew up and it shook this side of the house right next to me because I didn't see anything out there. Also found a Biston for Adair County commissioner in the front yard. So after I get through here, I'm going to look up, and if it's a Republican, I'm going to take their sign down. This is an apartment house, has no business being in our front yard. It was not put up by a resident. All right, where in the hell do I start? As you notice behind me, everything is taken down. I've got all my toys over here because every time I would move something like Donnie, the whole thing would fall off into the floor. So I'm getting such crowd up there, I can't keep all the shit up there. Let me start. Let's go through this and I'll rearrange the pages. Great, that one's not numbered. I could have sworn last night I was numbering these things, but well. Just a second, folks. I am totally unorganized because I am really pissed for what's going on in my own state down in Branson, Missouri. There's a standoff between the KKK on one side of the street and neo-Nazis and Black Lives Matter over a store there in Branson selling Confederate flags and all that. I'm sure I'll be hearing something tomorrow, probably on AM Joy, about that. Now, yeah, that must have been what it was. You might have heard it too. That was a mortar going off. Broad daylight. Nobody's going to see that shit blow up in the sky. These bird brains. All right. Biden delighted Donnie or Tweety Turd was delighted because Biden misquoted the COVID count, and Donnie jumps on that. Trump's one to be talking when it comes to that. All the misinformation, disinformation, and downright lies he perpetrates every day. Let's look at the time in the Oval. Remember when he was in the Oval Office on the chairs and stuff in there, and he was saying they ought to take a look at the oranges in the Russia probe. Not just once, but several times he called it oranges. That's another clue that he's a drug user. Donnie has two big fears. Number one, he's afraid of the coronavirus. Otherwise, wanted a 12-foot distancing during his Arizona and Phoenix in the church. He had those people that far away from him, but yet they were elbow to elbow in the audience. That shows he's scared. He's surrounded. Republicans, every time he appears, everybody around him's wearing a mask. He's the one, him and Pence, don't have masks on. They all get tested every day, and none of the rest of us get that kind of treatment. But yet it's over with, so you don't have to worry. Uh, and the next thing he's scared of is Joe Biden. He's going down in the polls every day to Biden, and he's getting more and more scared. Mr. Chicken Tweety Turd. What's he do? He had to do his restaurant menu executive orders I was talking about here, but he did one about monuments to Confederates. He's now going to have state federal marshals around that. The country is burning up with coronavirus. Over half of the states are now affected. I think the last number I saw was 32 states, some of which are having to rescind their reopening because they can't handle it and handle the patient load. More hospitalizations. And I heard reporting today, just a few minutes ago, about Trump rally staffers removed the social distancing stickers in the pandemic surge area during the Tulsa rally. All right, I already covered that. Oh, I wanted to tell you about one of the emblazoned statements on a Confederate flag: heritage, not hate. Right next to that person with the flag was the guy doing like that. Shit. I started to come on and I was going to do a drum roll with Mitch the Bitch and Donnie. I try to keep a little humor in it because otherwise I'd go nuts. Now, where did...
I'm going outside.
All right. Oh, I'll just wing it from here. The next biggest thing that I wanted to get into. Oh, I'll do this first and then I'll get into the one about Russia and what they're doing with their military intelligence, paying bounties to the Taliban linked militants for killing coalition forces, and there was pay given out for that. What Donnie do? He ignored it. My thoughts. And Donnie Doofus's executive orders, again and again, he plays to the bigots and the racists. And quite frankly, those that would keep alive the memory of the traitors and the losers of a war about owning human beings. They seem to overlook that. That's part of their heritage. Yeah, you can have your heritage. You were losers and your side were traitors. Even Robert E. Lee's himself in 1869 told people to take the battle flag down, put it in their attic, and not to erect statues to the Confederacy. But that's not good enough. You won't forget that you were on the losing side. And during the pandemic, Donnie asked the Supreme Court of the United States to strike down Obamacare, ACA, during a pandemic. That's politics over people. Record unemployment and record people that signed up for it because they don't have jobs. But, take it away from them. 23 million people during a pandemic shows you have no he has no soul. He has no compassion. He has no empathy. Uh, and I thought Rachel was interesting last. Abramoff, you remember that, where during George W. Bush, there was a whole lot of them indicted for dealing with this lobbyist, Abramoff, who has been charged with breaking the law that was written because of him, the Lobbying Disclosure Act of 2007 during George W. Bush. And it is an anti-corruption law. Now he's been locked up for it. Shit, you can't make this shit up. Roger Stone was due to go to prison on June 30th. The judge, Berman Jackson, gave Stone 14 days. So on the 14th day of July, he's to report to prison. Well, will Donnie pardon the man who, with the Russians and WikiLeaks, tried to rig the election and did rig it for Donnie? Yeah, that gets to me. The Russians secretly offered Afghanistan militants bounties to kill U.S. troops. Intel says that was the headline on that one. And see, he's trying to end that war over there, going to bring the troops home. This was told to him in Intel briefings in March, and he didn't do a damn thing. Then we find out that he was in touch, I guess, to tell Putin. He called Putin, and where we find it out, the first part of June, the Kremlin let us know. And that was months ago when they told him about this. He didn't do a damn thing suggested like sanctions or anything else. And the bounties were paid, and there were 20 American troops killed in 2019. So is that a part of it, Donnie? They got their bounty money for killing our troops, and you just sit on the news? Oh, that's right. You had too much on your mind, like the coronavirus that you were denying. And he knows that he didn't do a thing. That makes him, in my eyes, he's a traitor. He's selling out his own country. Oh, I remember what it was. I wrote down what it was. He was inviting Putin to the G7 at that time because he wanted to make it back into the G8, and everybody backed out of having a G7. And again, like what? This is the 15th, 16th time during his administration that we hear shit through the Kremlin. And then right after that, Trump advised or was saying that he's going to pull the troops from Germany. Now he's going to use those troops in Poland. I'm going to have to study up on, that's probably a dictator there too. Meanwhile, COVID-19 cases are surging in Arizona and Florida, Texas. Shall I go on? It's 32 states. Latest Lincoln Project commercial. I think it's only a minute and 7 seconds long. # America or Trump. And that's the truth. Either we can have America or we can have Trump. There's no such thing as having both. Unlike Hitler, Trump kills by downplaying a killer virus. The Republican Party is just as guilty as Donnie. Republican governors, Arizona, halt some of the reopening measures as virus cases continue to surge. Another thought I had on this is we need laws requiring networks that proliferate propaganda and conspiracy theories should by law have a disclaimer for entertainment only for all before all their programming, because that's all it is, a propaganda. And then I went back to I believe it was Rachel's show. Texas Harris County has in effect issued a stay-at-home order for that county as they teeter on the brink of a disaster from COVID-19. Remain at home except essential activities, wear a face covering, cancel gatherings. Texas' largest hospital in Houston reaches 100% ICU capacity. And now they will now ready using the overflow facility in NRG Park that could be ready in 72 hours. Good news out of the Ninth Circuit Court that judge has ruled that Trump cannot take money out of the Department of Defense to build his damn vanity wall. A blow for the Constitution. Finally, they're looking at the Constitution. Constitutionally, the purse strings are the Congress, not the President of the United States, and that's according to the Constitution of the United States. Donnie? CBS's Paula Reed nailed Pence with a question. How the campaign, how were they not a part of the problem? And not following the guidelines of the medical experts that Pence is the head of. Pence went into a 480 word salad, and didn't answer the damn question. He just said something about, if you have a mask on, you don't have freedom of speech. I beg your pardon. I can talk with a mask on. Things I do out in public. Nobody has a problem with hearing what I'm saying. So that's bullshit. And as we saw, this was from Lawrence O'Donnell. Donald Trump has no idea why he's running for re-election. He said, Biden is going to be president because you don't love me, maybe. Biden can't put together two sentences. Projection. He's the one that can't put two sentences together. When they were asking him what his re-election would accomplish, he had no answer other than put down Biden. You can't make this shit up. I mean, federal judge rules kids must be released from the family detention centers. The detention centers haven't been using masks or social distancing, and the judge decided they are put in danger in that case. All right, that's about all the shit I got for you today. I stayed up to something like 2:30 in the morning. I still didn't get all the stories, but I'll have something to look through tonight, and I'll be reviewing my Saturday AM Joy, and casually gathering together my Facebook show on Monday, which over the weekend you only have a couple shows that are going to cover it, even though it's getting where they lot of the regulars come back in on CNN, and MSNBC on the weekend to cover things. Things are getting worse and worse. And of course, according to the Republicans, no, they're getting better and better. Yeah, yeah. With over 125,000 dead and almost 3 million or headed to 3 million. If the CDC is not right, and it's 6 to 24 times more positive cases of coronavirus in this country. We don't know. But Pence said everything's all right, everything's getting better, and everything is opening up and it's going just fine. How's that man sleep at night? Of course, you got to keep in mind he's playing to an audience of one. All right, I've already got my memes out there. I'll be going down to the bottom of this, and I hope that you found my Facebook rant this morning handy. Basically, it wasn't a rant, it was just let everybody know what days of the week that I do each show, so that we can build this even higher. We're now back at 159 subscribers and growing. And if you're not subscribed yet, please do. Please go down and like and share this shit. And the means speak for themselves. I like getting your cards, your letters, and your donations. They're always appreciated, but they are not a requirement. Some of the stories that I put out there in videos and all, I didn't come up with that. That's Blue Dot members that came up with most of what I put out there today. That's where it came from. That's how you help me inform you and help me entertain you. I'm going to be putting all my toys back on the shelf. Mama will get mad at me if I don't. But that's about all I've got today. I appreciate your time for coming and watching this. Oh, yeah, buddy. These glasses cost me $1, and they're just reading glasses again, but they sit more comfortably because they don't have the pads on the edge, which I found in every other pair I've got around here. They dig into my nose. This is type frame that I'm going to get when I get my new prescription, if they ever allow us to see an eye doctor here. That's another problem we have right here. And I'll just quickly tell you, we went from 15,000, we're almost at 20,000 cases, 897 deaths as of yesterday. And I put an article out there from the Adair County Health Department, and they're still saying there are 19 people isolated, 92 cases of coronavirus, and no deaths. I'm thankful for that, but then again, I don't know whether to believe them. I was telling Grace, I'd like to subscribe to the Kirksville Express or Daily Express here. I'd like to look at the obituary, because I might find that they're not quite truthful on that no deaths from COVID in this county. I don't trust them. Let's put it that way. All right, I'll let you go with peace. Resist, persist, and insist. We flushed the turd on November 3rd. We can do this, people. If we each take 5 extra or talk 5 extra people into voting that turd out, we're going to win this. We can't depend on the polls. We saw what happened with Hillary Clinton, but it's looking good in the swing states right now.
where in some, Biden is 1 point ahead at this point. Donnie's burning down everything and making it worse on himself. He's pulling for all the wrong shit, and it's starting to catch up with him. People are starting to understand he's lost his mind. Donnie has woken up to the fact that he's going to prison. He has to win, and he doesn't care how many people he has to kill to get that done. All right, I'll let you go. Have a good evening. I'm going to get some downtime, post some music, and generally have fun with Grace and I watching something other than news while she's still up today. All right, have a good one. Share this shit. This needs to get out there, America. This Blue Dot family, we can make a big difference. We have enough members all around the world to pull this thing off and make a difference in November. Keep that in mind. All right, have a good one. Bye bye. Share this shit.